Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sebastian Sjoberg, and this is the first ESFI GGvision of 2011. This particular video is the second and concluding chapter to a mini-series that was begun in late 2010. Yes, it's a bit overdue, I'm sorry. And where we'll talk about where StarCraft 2 is going in this year and beyond. The first video gave you a brief introduction of the history behind the current StarCraft 2 scene, how StarCraft 1, the original Brood War, came to be an international esport with the heart in South Korea over 10 years, and how the scene we're enjoying right now in StarCraft 2 is standing on the giant shoulders of its predecessor. But this video will not be a history lesson, rather it will be a place to ponder and debate and to do predictions about how the scene is going to develop this year and beyond, and what we can do to be a part of that. I hope you'll join in the discussion in the comments below and in your video responses, whether you agree with me or think I'm full of shit. But either way, what we have seen in 2010 has been that esports has had a bit of a revival with StarCraft 2. I'm not saying it's dominating the scene entirely, but it's definitely the coolest thing around just now, very popular. But as trends come and go, I think StarCraft 2 will still remain a cornerstone because it has some intrinsic long-lasting values, which is what we'll talk about today. 2010 saw an explosion in the popularity of StarCraft 2, and it was followed suit by many professional tournaments being organized and people going pro all over the place, and lots of people suddenly realizing that they could be professional YouTubers full-time, make a nice living from what they had been doing for free and just for fun for years usually. And it was quite chaotic and even anarchic, but in a good way. In 2011 we will see how this will become consolidated and developed to evolve even. And I want to do some predictions regarding that. Currently there is one spearhead leading the evolution of StarCraft 2 as a professional electronic sport more than any other entity, and that is of course the Global Star League taking place over at gomtv.net, being broadcasted from Seoul, Korea, with the best of the very best international pro gamers, and more will flock as the year progresses, broadcasting almost every day a week, almost every week a year, giving away tens of thousands of dollars in prizes. It is truly leading the way, and others will have to follow suit, because not too long ago this scene was entirely dominated by individual YouTubers who were providing this same action, obviously with less prize money and lower production value, but with a lot more personal flair, and names like Day9, Husky StarCraft, HD StarCraft, Artosis, and others come to mind. They made a name for themselves in a fairly brief window where there were no professional entities doing the same, and now they have become quite famous and quite independent. But also, nowadays, at least from say October, November last year, the GSL in Korea has grown immensely popular and largely taken over the market. People are still watching YouTube, of course, especially those big names, but newcomers have a hard time getting in there, because between the GSL and the Husky and Day9s, there's very little room to maneuver in unless you develop. And I think this development is what's going to characterize 2011. How people on YouTube and other sites like ESFI and Team Liquid, Gosu Gamers, and many other smaller entities will have to find ways to come together to deliver more vivid experiences that stretches beyond just casting individual single games between recognized pro gamers. Because StarCraft 2 is a very watchable game, and the one who makes it the most watchable and enjoyable has the potential to become very popular, powerful, influential. And the GSL builds upon over 10 years of Korean experience of broadcasting StarCraft live professionally on an entirely different level than what individuals like you and I could ever try to hope for. But on the other hand, you can compensate for that by being yourself, by doing something unique. And what we're seeing now, I believe, is the beginning of a growing up process of StarCraft fans and esports professionals all around the world. We're having the Team Liquid organize a new Star League like never before. That will set a new standard in online tournaments. And what I'm trying to get at is that StarCraft 2 is currently a great vehicle for moving the art of esports broadcasting forward. Because unlike many other game genres, StarCraft 2 is very watchable if done correctly. It's a very advanced and complex game. A novice has great difficulty following what's going on, and even an experienced player who can watch a replay or a non-commentated video and follow the action will have to think quite and be quite alert to see what's going on. Jinro is researching combat shields ahead of Stimpack. How is that working into his overall game plan? What is he thinking? Will that counter his opponent? A good commentator, who's also the cameraman, can make these interpretations for us, so we can just sit back and enjoy the action as spectators. And most of the viewers of esports will be spectators most of the time. Statistics show that hundreds of thousands are doing that already every day. And in StarCraft 2, this is more easily accomplished than in many other game genres. Take first-person shooters, for example, specifically if it's a match where there are more than two players fighting each other. It is arguably more difficult to follow the actions. It's more of a challenge for cameramen and commentators to interpret what is going on between the quick switches between one player's view and another. StarCraft 2, if done correctly, is a wonderful platform to broadcast from. But nowadays the competition is fierce between, yes, the GSL and the big recognized casters out there. You have to figure out something entirely new to make an impact on the scene. And which is why I predict that what we will see are more non-commentated type of content. Talk shows, discussions like video podcast kind of thing, more in-depth interviews, because what we want to do is to tell a story, history telling really, so that there's a legacy and a continuity between different matches. You want to create your own mini GSLs in the shape and form that can be done. You just don't want to grab the latest TLO versus IDRA show match and cast it like everybody else. What you want to do is to create your own little thing, your own little nest, and probably ally yourself with others of the same position and ambition, and create something that is entirely you and new. What we will see in 2011 is the scene maturing, and it will take esports as a whole one step further, because StarCraft 2 lends itself so well to broadcasting, both for big corporations and for individuals. But we have to think out new ways of doing it. The childhood years are over. Husky and the Day 9 and the Artosis have already claimed the entirety of that. You have to figure out a new way of doing so, and that will be very, very interesting. 2011 will mean that esports will become more and more of a household name than ever before. It will become something of an e-gold rush for those who can find ways of broadcasting entertainment to people in new ways. And those are my crucial predictions for 2011, and I hope to inspire you somewhat by saying that it can be done, but it must be done in new ways. ESFIWorld.com will provide coverage of this and everything else. This show, ESFI GGvision, will become a weekly institution where I will summarize what has been going on in the week, give you behind-the-scenes insights into the site, and tell you what you can expect to come in the future. I hope that you'll join in. Feel free to subscribe to this channel, where more awesomeness from me and from many other video makers will come shortly. If you want to, feel free to check out the regular GGvision over on my own channel, youtube.com/Polygon Revue. You can also find it at polygonreview.com. I am broadcasting 3 times a week. Now thank you for watching, and do tell me in the comments and in your video responses, how do you see 2011 when in terms of StarCraft 2 and in esports? What can we do to push the boundaries further to make the scene grow even more, and how can we seize it by the balls, so to speak, in order to put our own personal flair on what's going on? Because this is the time, my friends. 2011 will be the year. Looking forward to your comments. Thank you for watching. I'm Sebastian Sjoberg.